Oh, I wish that we could see that intro this evening, but unfortunately we could not. That's okay. The show still goes on. Look at this. Christmas, they gave me another swivel chair, which I said in season 3, I'd never do this to you again, but it's back. So you're going to see my ADHD swivel and self swivel around in season 6. This show is a big show. Let me tell you. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I see you guys on there. Please comment, share, interact, like, tell all your friends about it. This is a big night because we are entering in season 6. I don't even know the right word for the moment of going into season 6. This started as a passion project so many years ago because I realized, you know what? I'm in between contracts between live hosting and I need to stay relevant. So I started this show. It is an amazing experience. It is a wonderful time. I always get to spend so many moments with really great people. Hello, Steve. Thank you so much for tuning in. And before we get to our first guest of season 6, welcome to 2022. I have a sponsor that I'd like to share with you. Tonight, our sponsor is Nun Life. Nun Life is clean energy. It comes in tablet form, and these tablets are so yummy. It serves up some B vitamins, electrolytes, zero sugar. You can go to Nun Life to get yours. Let me bring that information up to the screen so that you can write it down after the show. Go find Nun tablets. And you know what? They have pure hydration. They have a complete hydration kit. I actually have it in my sponsor box over there next to me, which I didn't grab tonight because I have brought it on to the broadcast a couple of times already. But as I was looking through, they do have some new products, especially immuno boosting products. Really great stuff. If you go to nunlife.com, you can get 20% off today, but you don't just have to go to Nun Life to go get their products. They're available all over the place. I saw Dick's Sporting Goods now has them. They're at Walmart, Publix, Kroger, Walgreens, and of course, their own website, nunlife.com. That's nunlife.com, as well as Amazon. If you're Amazon Prime person, hello, my name's Elizabeth. I have an Amazon Prime addiction. You can get it there too. So it is 80 milligrams of caffeine in the energy version of this, 3 carbs, 10 calories, and their flavors are Berry Blast, Ginger Lime Zing, Tropical Punch, Watermelon Burst, as well as many other flavors. 20 milligrams of ginseng, a blend of vitamins B12, B6, and caffeine sourced from green tea. So I think you're going to love it. It's vegan, it's gluten-free, it's soy-free. It's a great source of electrolytes. Go get yourself some Nun Life tablets. All right, everybody. So let's move on with the show this evening. I am so excited to have a really inspirational woman connected with me live tonight. And as always, you get to connect with her by asking any question you would like. I'm going to interject it into the interview this evening. Always remember to go to the Caffeinated Cooper Show channel on YouTube, like, subscribe, and you will never, ever, ever miss another live show. As far as not being able to make it to the live shows, that's okay. Go to bingenetworks.tv and watch it at any time. Go on to Amazon Prime Video. We're on there too. We're on Samsung, Roku, wherever you watch video. Search the Caffeinated Cooper Show. Hello, Ken. It's wonderful to see you. Now, have you ever thought about playing the drums? I have. I love my hand pan steel drum. I love it. And it's not the one that you know, it's a pan. This one's different. It looks like a flying saucer. And oh my gosh, I love it. The lady connected with me tonight, she is a professional drummer, really in a man's professional world of being a drummer. And we're going to get into that with her. We're going to talk to her about where her passion began, where it all started, and what is it like to be a profound woman in a very different career. So connected with us tonight is the animal. That's Thee animal. Her name is Barb Wolkins. And Barb, we'll see, she began playing drums. She had the love of drums very, very young, and she wanted to play drums, but unfortunately was told drums are not for girls, right? We've heard that a lot, especially my generation. We stayed in our lane. Now today it's a little bit different because so many women have forged forward and we've done different things like she has. Barb taught herself to play drums by ear. And in the early 90s, she co-founded the award-winning, international popular and beloved Arizona all-female rock band Whiskey Blue. Her bandmates gave her the nickname of The Animal because of her giant drum cage and her loud animal style of drumming. Whiskey Blue went on to achieve great success in a very short period of time. Barb cites her drumming influences as Karen Carpenter, Mick Tucker, Tommy Lee, Mick Fleetwood, and so many more. Currently drumming with her new band, Wiki Kiss, Barb is known for her heavy-hitting, four-on-the-floor style. And without any further ado, I'd like to welcome to the broadcast Miss Barb Wolkins. How are you?
Hello, how are you?
Oh, I'm doing great. I am so excited to be connected with you this evening. I mean 100% of what I just said. You are a phenomenal woman in sort of a still male-dominated world.
Yeah, it's still very male-dominated. Even though there's a lot of female drummers that start out like little girls now, are getting millions of views on, doing covers on YouTube and stuff. But I never had that luxury. I was like one of a handful back when I started. So it's nice to see now.
Where did you decide, and I'm taking this as you were probably very, very young, that you wanted to start playing the drums. Where were you when you're like, oh, yes, I want to do this?
I remember the exact moment. I was about 6 or 7, and we had moved to Gilbert, Arizona, which was very much a cow town. It was like our house and a bunch of fields. And my mom took me to a friend of hers, trailer somewhere out in Apache Junction. And she took me, and I walked in, and the mom had given her son like one of those little 3-piece JCPenney drum sets. And it was in the living room. And I just walked in and I thought, oh, wow. And I distinctly remember the mom, who was a friend of my mom's, she told me, if you can sit behind that drum, it was probably this big. If you can sit behind that drum set and play, different hands, different feet, you can be a drummer. So I sat behind this little kit and I did this little thing, and I knew that's what I was going to do someday. I just knew it because I could actually separate my hands, and most people can't. They tend to do this. So I could do that, and that was my first, when I just knew that I was going to play the drums, but it was going to be a bigger set than that little kid. That was about, I was 6 years old.
6 years old. Wow. 6 years old. So then in your bio, you were told drums, it's not for girls, right?
Well, a little bit of time, my next distinct memory, quite frankly, was right around the same period. I know we lived in Gilbert. I saw Karen Carpenter behind a Ludwig drum kit on TV. They had just become really popular. My mom had something going on, and I saw Karen Carpenter, and like my whole world changed for me. Like seeing her and hearing her and watching her play these massive drums, I like freaked out. But it wasn't until I was in high school that I was given something of an opportunity to play the drums, and that's when I got my heart crushed. So I was given the opportunity, and then I got crushed the same year. So it wasn't until I was in high school that I actually picked up a drumstick.
So, and how did you get crushed in the same year?
I was a freshman in high school here in Phoenix, and I was in JV band. So there was like 6 of us. Now I didn't get to play a drum set. I had a snare drum. And I would go into the music room, go into a closet, and pull out the snare drum while the varsity band was practicing. And then we go into the cafeteria, and we would just, do little things. I was the only drummer there. Let me state that. So we would just do little things, plain little things. And then when the senior drummer graduated, I was the only drummer in JV band in school. I thought they would give me the drum kit. And I felt wrong. My music teacher, God bless his heart, pulled me aside and said, girls, we can't give you the drum kit. You're a girl. And I'm like, why am I in JV band? Why are you teaching me to play the drums? So they actually got a transfer student that had just transferred to school, and they gave me the drum kit. And I didn't pick up a drum set or a stick for years and years and years. So
I wouldn't either.
Well, it was the 70s for one thing. My parents, most parents weren't going to teach their kid. They weren't going to give their daughter a drum set. They gave me a piano, they got me a guitar one year, that wasn't going to fly. And nobody was going to teach their daughter how to play the drums. So I actually had a huge gap between the time that I started to play the drums and get interested before I actually became a drummer. So I was behind the curve right off the bat. Like, I had nothing. So.
Wow. Now see, when I read your bio, I took that as, and this is just, my own inference, right? I'm writing my own story in my own head. And I'm reading this and I'm like, oh, it would be her parents that would tell her, no, sweetie, drums are for girls. My goodness. It was your music teacher in high school.
Yeah, it was my music teacher. And, okay, so I was like a total geek in high school anyways. So I thought I was shy, I was socially awkward. I thought if I could be in the band, it would elevate me somehow in the eyes of my peers. And I was also really good at sports. So when the music teacher says, sorry, we're going to get a guy who just got into our school to come in, you just kind of go on with your life. It's high school. You got things going on. And I got into sports. And I got into other stuff. And I never thought about the drums because it wasn't given to me. It wasn't allowed. It wasn't, and I don't blame my parents. I don't even blame him. It was the 70s. You know what I mean? And so most people that wanted to play the drums like me, most little girls, they were piano, accordion, whatever, recorder. But they weren't like Karen Carpenter's parents. They weren't like, here's a drum set. So no, it was my music teacher. And it was just like, okay, well, I'm crushed, but life goes on. I'm in high school.
Right, absolutely. Yeah, no, I totally get where you're coming from. What do you think about today where so many things have opened up? Like that just wouldn't even happen in today's world.
No, it would be lawsuit. It would be Me Too hashtags. We had that stuff would not fly. But back then, I suppose in a way, I probably thought, well, that's okay because I'm a girl and I've got other things going on that I'm good at. I was good at art, I was really good at sports. So I kind of didn't get that burning passion in my heart about drums until way later. And I was behind already. Most people nowadays, or like Karen Carpenter, she got lessons in a drum set when she was in high school. And it really kind of threw my learning curve way behind the times. So it's something I regret not pursuing at the time.
But look at where you are now. So take me through your 20s, your later teens, your 20s, because you didn't really get back into it until your 30s?
Well, no, it was my mid-20s. Okay. We had moved to Scotland when I was Yeah, we moved to Scotland
Wow.
twice in the 70s. So when I went to Scotland the first time, that was the era that glam rock was really big in the UK. So I got to watch The Sweet and Gary Glitter and David Bowie and Slade and all those things. And I was mesmerized in particular by Mick Tucker from The Sweet. Long hair, flashy outfits, massive double bass drum set, and it's like it was always in my head that. But I got to go into that glam era, and then we came back to the States, and then we went back to the UK, and I still wasn't playing drums, but I was hearing drummers that influenced me. Bev Bevan from ELO, I got to, they were huge over there, and ABBA, and disco, and all that stuff was going on, and I got to watch it, and that's kind of where my psyche started to turn towards, I listen to the drums, I think I can play what they're playing. And then when I saw the Runaways, that was it. That was when, the Runaways were more popular in the UK when I was over there than they were in the US. So I knew about the Runaways, I think probably before anybody in the US did. I mean, Sandy West, Joan Jett, Lita Ford. I thought this is what I want to do, but how am I going to do this? Because my parents are not going to let me bring that into the house. So it was a dream, and I started to cultivate it by listening to drummers that caught my ear, and then seeing girl bands start to come out. And then when I came back to high school, that's when I got crushed. That's when I stepped into the drum thing and got that burned to cinders. So it was a long time before I actually did something.
And in your bio, it mentions that you taught yourself how to play. How did you realize that you have an ear for it, that you're able to teach yourself and get yourself, caught up with the time you missed?
I mean, I didn't even have drumsticks. I would pick up a pair of hangers, like clothes hangers. And me and my sister would make up songs or whatever on my bed, listening to music or whatever. And I would play the drums with hangers on a pillow. So that's kind of, I was using my hands like a drummer, but it was kind of nonsensical stuff. It wasn't structured. But I have this thing where I still do it. If I can listen to a song a few times and I zone in on the drums and I can play it, like mime it, like, karaoke style, I more than likely can play that song. I can take that to a drum set and sit down and knock it out. If it's something a little bit harder, like an original or something, I'm very much a field player. I'll hear something in a riff or something, and I'm a field drummer. I don't think, okay, I need this, I need 2 of these, I need a 5 count over here. It's just a feeling. And that's how I learned. But I can hear something and think, yeah, okay, I got this. I can play it note for note in the air, then I can play it on the drum set. So that's how I taught myself. The actual first time I sat down at a drum set, first song I ever learned was Looks and Kill by Motley Crue. It had just come out, and I thought, if I can play this song, all my friends will love me, and I know that I can be a drummer. And I did. I just, like that. Now, I didn't know every little nuance that he was doing, but I could play the song the first time I heard it.
So take me through the formation of the all-girl band Whiskey Blue.
Yeah, that was insane. Okay, you got to think of a time before cell phones and computers and stuff like that. So it's the late 80s. And I had met in Phoenix, we had a big newspaper. It was free. It was called the New Times. music, sports, art. That's where you found out where all the bands were playing and stuff like that. And they used to have, this is when they actually had written adverts. And a guy from Boston, a band manager, had put out an ad looking for a female drummer to put together an all-female band. And long story short, it was in Boston. I was in Arizona. So we got to talking on the phone. You actually had to talk on the phone back then, I know. Weird. And I decided to quit my job, pack up my drums in my truck, and drive in the middle of winter. It was a real intelligent move on my part. Get rid of everything and drive to Boston with no heat in my truck, by the way. And I took Wendy, who I had met through an ad in the New Times, and she drove with me and then flew back. Okay, so we're practicing in the basement of this guy's house, and it's 25 degrees below zero. My drum sets are frozen, my heads are frozen. We got about 3 practices in, and I called Wendy one day crying and said, can you wire me some money? I need to come home. So I got back to Arizona, and we decided to put together an all-female band ourselves in Arizona. So again, back then, you had to reach out through advertisements. You know, little things on the back of papers, little want ads, and we formed Whiskey Blue by putting out ads in papers, including one in one of the bigger trade papers in LA. And we got together, and we got a practice room in Phoenix. And it was one of those things where the minute we started practicing a cover song, we knew we were going to be good. Like, it clicked. Now, mind you, I hadn't played drums ever. Not in the band. But it just, I could do it. And we were kind of all at the same level. And we were really good right from the get-go. So that band manager back in Boston, I called him one day and I said, what are you doing? He's like, you know, whatever. And I'm like, I got a band. It's all female, and that really kicks ass. He came down with his wife, flew back, and then packed up his life and moved down to Phoenix to management. Mind you, we had not played a show yet. It was crazy. It was crazy, but it was one of those things where we instantly knew us 5 girls were going to be good, and we were going to be good really fast. So that's actually the first time I actually started playing drums. And it was, I had to, you know, it was like that, fast.
That is a lot on the line up front. Like, what were the nerves like when all of you were about to play for a crowd that first night?
Well, our lead singer threw up behind the amp. Actually, I don't think it was nervousness as much as we had the pressure of being girls, and we were playing rock/heavy metal. And we had not, you know, we knew we were good. We knew people were going to freak out when they saw us. But we also knew that there was going to be a lot of pushback with all the guy bands. And, you know, back in the early 90s, there were bands that loved us because they liked that we were good-looking girls. They liked that we were hardcore. And they liked our personalities. And they also liked the fact that we brought in a crowd that they didn't. Then there were bands that absolutely hated us for the same reasons. You know, they'd walk in and they'd stand in front of us while we're singing a song and they'd flip us off, or they'd throw stuff, or, you know, they'd screw with our mics during sound check, and when we'd come on stage, my mics would be hanging over my, you know, it was really petty and vicious, and so that's where we were concerned. Like, how do you put on a killer show, and being girls, we have to be better than all the guys that are playing before us or after us. So you have to be better. You have to put on a better show. You can't screw up. You can't make a mistake. You can't forget a vocal. And then what do you do with the guys that are flipping you off and, you know, screaming obscenities at you, and you know, girls that want to fight you because they don't like, because our lead singer looked at their boyfriend during the show. So you know, it was those times, but we got better and stronger, and we didn't take crap from anybody. And that's where it's kind of like you get in an environment and you either, plus we had management and we had a road crew that looked after us, but you know, you fight, you stand up for yourself, and we just decided that we've got something that nobody else has, and we're going to see this through no matter who tries to stop us.
Right, exactly.
So it wasn't nervous. Yeah, we knew we were going to have to be good. And so a lot of times during a show, I would tend to stare at my hi-hats because I'm concentrating. There's somebody from Vixen in the crowd, or somebody from Alice in Chains is sitting up front, or Stevie Nicks' manager is not. So I'm like this, and you just, I'm staring at my hat. You're trying not to mess up. So I didn't really allow myself too often to just like let fly if there was somebody big in the audience, and there usually was. It was like right before showtime, our manager would walk up and say, "Hey everybody, just want to let you know Aerosmith's manager's here, he's sitting in the front." We're like,
It's like, great, thanks. Why couldn't you have told us after?
So we finally told them, just don't tell us.
Right.
Because, you know, that's vomit inducing to know what was going on back then. But, you know, also as we started playing 5 nights a week, 2 hours a night, that was the show schedule, it was Tuesday through Saturday, we got really good. So we didn't worry about screwing up. So I've never been a nervous person, but it was nervous of, what if I screw up and there's some famous drummer in the audience? And that's a different kind of nervous, and that's because of your gender. It's a pressure.
True. Tremendous pressure. Yeah, I would be in the same boat. I'd be like, no, dude, like, just stop. You don't know what you're doing to all of us.
Oh, but we learned to get an attitude, not like stuck up. But it's like, okay, so we would be doing a show and we would be signing autographs, like a flyer or something that we put out. And someone would always say the same thing, "Hey man, you guys are really good for girls." It's like, you don't get mad. You just stop and say, "Oh, thanks for coming out." But, you know, it's not like they're trying to be jerks. It's just how it was.
Right. Absolutely. So, all right. The guy bands that didn't like you for, let's say, for being better. Okay. Not just being women, for being better.
Oh, yeah.
What kind of a stink would they cause? I mean, did they ever potentially push it to where you're like, you know what, we just need to stop? We got to be a headlining act pretty quickly. So we're headlining, so we would have an input, if not 100% input, on who we were having opening for us. Let's say it's 3 bands. If we'd already heard through the grapevine that a band that wanted to play with us because they knew we would get a big crowd and lots of people, but we already knew that they'd been screwing with us or talking crap about us at their own shows, we wouldn't have them on our show. Or we would sometimes be like, okay, let's put them on. We're either opening for them, like direct opening for them, or they're opening directly for us. And we're going to blow them off the stage. And then when we leave, our crowd's going to leave with us, and you're going to be left with like 3 groupies. You know what I mean? Yeah, I do.
And so we used to turn it around to our advantage. And also we had a couple of guys, my drum tech was nicknamed Mr. Scary. He was about 300 pounds, ZZ Top beard, no cheek, prison tattoos, and he used to go up. We got smart. We used to send him up to collect the money for the shows from the bar owners.
Oh, wow.
And they would like give us extra money if we sent in. Like, because like Mr. Scary would walk in and say, "Where's our $500? Oh, here's $550." You know. So we had some advantages that we used, but most of the time it was like, screw this. We're gonna just go out there and really blow you off the stage, and we don't care if you're from LA, if you've got a record company and a contract and an album out. We're gonna blow you off the stage, and then you can have a reason to hate us.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So that, you know, we used to have band meetings, and we used to hear stuff from our manager, like this person did this person said this. So we were kind of more advanced because our manager had a computer and a printer. So he would get all sorts of stuff, and then we'd have a band meeting. So we were always in contact. We knew what was going on at all times. And if we didn't, we said Mr. Scary.
So what was your last show with Whiskey Blue? What was that? Do you remember?
We had broken up right after we signed a record contract, of course. We played our record company showcase at Gazzarri's by invite at Gazzarri's on the Sunset Strip. It was insane. It was a great show, but there was a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes that were falling apart, not with the band, with other people. And we kind of came back to Arizona, and, you know, we started fighting amongst ourselves.
Mm.
We wanted to go this way. Some of the other girls wanted to do this, and it tore us apart. We broke up. We still had a record contract signed, and I was left to deal with the fallout. So I didn't touch a drumstick for 15 years. I didn't. I was so devastated and thought, this is just, I don't want to play with anybody else. I had gotten some calls from some big name bands wanting to come join us, we need someone in the studio, and my heart wasn't in it. And when we reunited in 2008, it was an absolute blast. 900 people came. It was us and several other big bands from the era. We stayed and we played some big shows, but then, you know, things run its course, and it was probably 2011, late 2011 was our last show together, I think.
Wow.
Yeah, so I've had these huge gaps of not playing.
Mm-hmm.
And plus I'm getting older, and I'm still bodybuilding. I've been bodybuilding for about 40 years, so I've got shoulder injuries and elbow and wrist injuries. And now I'm coming back into it, and I'm not the same person I was when I was listening to Tommy Lee play. You know what I mean? I've got some different challenges, but wow.
But now take us into Wicked Kiss, because even though you've had that large gap, you're back into another successful band.
Well, my little sister, even though there's a big age difference between us, she was like my little tag-along. She was like my little puppy when I was growing up. She and I did everything together. Like I said, I was really socially awkward. I was bullied as a child. I was bullied in school. And it wasn't until I started, you know, getting good at drums, getting good at sports, and bodybuilding that I came into what I was. But Kathy was always there for me. And so when I was growing up, and she was just a little kid, she was listening to The Sweet and David Bowie and Slade and T-Rex. And then she was listening to ABBA and disco and Journey. Everything that I listened to, she was listening to. So when she got to be in her 20s and stuff, she kind of found out what she was good at. I was already going through the Whiskey Blue stuff, and she got to singing way late in life. Like, I got to be drumming way late in life. She did acting and modeling and calendars and all this stuff. Then she started singing. She got to be really good. And then, you know, kind of during lockdown, we decided, let's get this band together I've been trying to put together for a year, and let's do this. And we did. Like, we went for it. We both had a long conversation, and we said, let's give it 100%. If it lasts a day, if it lasts one show, if it lasts 5 years, I can only do this for so long.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's only going to be so long I'm going to be able to hold a drumstick in my hand. Let's just go 100%, all in, no matter what. And she agreed. And so we're doing it 100%.
And so introduce us to the rest of the bandmates. So yourself, your sister.
My little sister Kathy's on vocals, and we got John Bronson. My sister's in another big band in town called Superhero. They're fantastic. John Bronson is also with my little sister in that band, and he is a guitar genius. That's all I have to say about him. Our bass player is a woman. She's one of the best bass players in the country. Her name is Hei Jung Choi, and she is phenomenal. And then we just got our second smash guitarist, Mark Christensen. He's been in the music scene in Arizona for, like, when I started. We were playing when his bands were playing. So we asked him, he said, it sounds like a lot of fun. This is a fun band, but there's some serious musicians in it. We've all been in it for a long time. So it's 3 girls and 2 guys. So the girls are the bosses. We all know this, right? The girls rule the band, but the guys are fantastic guitarists, and they're actually, like, probably the best you can find.
Wow.
Yeah, really excited.
So where can we catch a show? When is your next show?
We actually had a show December 18th, but we had to pull out because the original venue got shut down or something. And the stage that the second venue was so small, it was about the size of this, and my drum set was not going to fit on it. So we had to pull out. But I think our first show was going to be in March, but we've been, trust me, we've been working solidly through all last year, all this year. We've got some huge, cool stuff coming up, and that's what we've been focusing on until we got the band together and got our first show.
So with a name like Wiki Kiss, is it a Kiss cover band? Is it your own creation? What's the sound?
I don't know. I probably was thinking of Whiskey Blue when I thought of Wiki Kiss, but I think the name was actually bandied about by me and some other girl musicians a couple of years ago, and they kind of blew it off, I think. I kind of like the band. It does not have anything to do with Kiss. It's Kathy and I decided what we want to do is do what we want to do. If we want to do a cover of a heavy metal song that we both loved back in the 80s, we'll put that in our set list. But we also like the Go-Go's, and we like disco, and we like 70s stuff. So we have a lot of influences, and we don't want to be stuck doing one type of thing. It's what we want to do. If Kathy thinks she can sing this song, and I think I can play the drums to it, and we can kind of rock it up a little bit, give it a little bit more rock edge to it. It's rock, but it can be pop rock, it can be indie rock, it can be hard rock, and we've got some songs that are heavy metal. So
now,
what we're gonna do, really.
I've noticed, especially in the heavy metal, there's a couple of bands that I follow that are sort of like a fusion between true heavy metal and Southern rock. And they're very, very popular in Europe, in Germany and the Netherlands. Have you had any requests? We actually have somebody connected tonight, Ken Dodge. He's saying, will you please come to Nashville? Have you had any requests from especially Europe for your sound?
Yes. Even after Whiskey Blue had broken up in 2011, we were getting tour offers from Japan, like full-blown we'll fly you out per diem and pay, tour offers. It's this female thing. And it's doing something that not everyone's doing. We're not auto-tuning. We play our own instruments. We genuinely like each other. But we've actually had already a couple of requests from some, I don't want to say big hitters, but people in Nashville who are connected with the Nashville scene. And it's like, okay, well, we can't come out there right now, but it's definitely something that we're definitely going to think about. Right now, we need to get what we need to get out, and we need to get this whole thing going, what we've been working on, and play a couple of shows, get together and get in sync. But Nashville is being looked at, yes. Thank you, Ken.
So now I'm going to be a little sleuthy with what you just said. It sounds like you're working on an album.
No, and I'll tell you why. No, we're going to have a lot of different styles of songs. Some covers that we're going to re-record and do it our way, and some originals. But we've decided not to go the album route because of the music industry. Like, you could spend tens of thousands of dollars, because it's all on you, putting together an album and the album artwork and this and that and this and that, and the chances are no one's going to buy it or hear that whole album. They're going to hear singles. So we're doing singles. And it's just going to be like on our timetable, and we're not going to release anything that's not ready to be released. Just be like a record company would say, you owe us an album. People rush and do crappy albums and they flop. We're going to do singles for right now.
Very cool. So with the singles, are you doing the full thing, the video and everything splashy that goes along with a single release?
We are. Yes, I can answer that yes, but not for all of them, I don't think. As you know, it's quite costly and quite time consuming. And we all have jobs, and the practice room is almost 2 hours away from me. So I have to load in my jobs, it's kind of a thing. But we've got a plan, and Kathy and I are in constant consultation with each other and with the other band members, and we're not going to do anything unless it's 110%. Mm-hmm. If it's not, then we're not going to put it out there because we don't have to. So there's no record company, there's no manager telling us we got to do something. So we're kind of working through this ourselves and figuring out things ourselves, and then depending on the response of our first single and stuff, and I hope it's good, but you don't know. It's social media. You can put something fabulous out there and 15 people see it because of a time of day or an algorithm.
Yes.
So, but it doesn't matter. We're going to do it 110%, and we're going to be proud of it, and that's it. That's what we're doing it for. You know what I mean? It's so we can be proud and put stuff out there that maybe not everyone's doing.
So for people that are watching tonight and they're connected and they want to be able to catch the release of the singles that you'll have coming out fairly soon. Yeah. I'm assuming it's YouTube. You have a website. What are some of the other modes of transportation for getting this out there?
We're going to pretty much link everything from our website. Everything will be able to be downloaded or purchased or seen on the website. It will also link to the YouTube channel and to our Facebook and to our Instagram. So that's the type of stuff that we've been doing. And I'm sure you know about this. We've been having to do that on our own and figure it out. And we've had some help from some really cool friends that maybe know more than we do. But it's all going to be connected. So if someone doesn't have an Instagram, they can log into our website and boom, there's our download, there's our CD, there's our merch, whatever. Everything's going to be connected because not everybody's on all social media. So we kind of want to make it that some people can find us. Some people are older. They don't have TikTok or Twitch or whatever.
Well, and I think the website is a great vehicle. So that's wickedkissband.com. I was putting that up there and it wasn't quite typing out the full. It says Wicked Kiss Band. That's not it. It's wickedkissband.com. And we're talking about Wicked Kiss, the newly formed band with Barb Wolkins. Now, Barb, I see a drum kit behind you. Is that the one that you play?
I wouldn't exactly call that a drum kit. I actually kind of purchased that because my drum set is so big and it takes so long to set up and tear down that we finally decided I'm going to leave it down in the practice room. Plus, I can't play. I've got elderly neighbors. This is Payson. It's not, Las Vegas. So I can't play. So this was the quickest way. I can slap on earphones. I can plug in an iPhone with our set list on it or a song that I want to learn. It's got Bluetooth. It's electronic, which I'm not used to. But if I can get it down on that kit, I can get it down on my drum set. It's just a different. That's tiny. Like, that's really small. That's embarrassingly small. But my kit is just too big and too loud, and I don't want to get kicked out of Payson just yet. So it's an e-kit.
Oh my goodness. Do you still have neighbors that say anything about, even though you're on an e-kit?
Honestly, when I had my big Tama kit in here up until a few months ago, I had mesh heads, so everything was sound deadened. Now I can still play, but I can't hear myself, which really sucks. But a couple of times when I would get new drum heads, I'd put on new drum heads, and I'd kind of bang around, and they've got hearing aids, they can't hear anything. But it's just one of those things. I couldn't wail and do hours and hours of stuff, so I'm helping my neighbors, I'm being neighborly, and I'm banging away on an e-kit.
That is hilarious. They have hearing aids and they can't hear so well. Yeah, that's a great neighbor for a drummer.
My neighbors are elderly, all of them actually, and they're really cool, but I just don't think they want to hear me playing Looks That Kill or Back in Black. And they're playing, like church songs. So.
That is hilarious, I've got to say. All right, everybody, you've got to go to YouTube, search Wicked Kiss, subscribe, share it out, like it, hit the little bell, whatever you do on YouTube so you don't miss the single release, right?
Yeah, now everything's kind of in its infancy. All of our social media pages are just kind of being built up right now. But there's things coming, I promise.
Awesome. Well, we've had so many people connected. I want to say thank you so much. Ken Dodge has stayed with us the entire time. He is sharing his love for you. And we've had Steve and Joe. Oh my goodness, so many people connected. So I want to say thank you so much for watching the show. And Barb, thank you so much for your time. This has been lovely to get to know you. I'd love to invite you, now that you're a friend of the show, you're welcome back anytime you'd like to come back, especially when you have a single ready.
Yeah, I would love to come on when we actually have something going on, and we can talk. I just can't say too much, obviously, you know why. But yeah, absolutely. When we've got stuff to talk about, it's going to be big and fun. So.
Oh, I can't wait. Well, thank you so much for connecting with us this evening, and congratulations on your past success, your future success. Oh my goodness, it's awesome. Have a wonderful evening out there in Arizona, and have a great night. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right. Oh my goodness, everybody. As always, I love you guys. You're so interactive. Please get all of your interactive friends on here for the next interview. Wednesday night, we will be talking to a wonderful actor and author. He's going to tell us all about his movie that he's in, his brand new trailer that he directed, and a book that's out. It's a really interesting story. So everybody connect again this Wednesday at 9 p.m. Eastern. And as always, we are blessed. You are blessed. And mwah, I love you. And I will see you next